What's up? What's up? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to SellerAmp Seller Hour here. Excited to hop on with you guys for a quick little 30 minutes or so. Going to answer any questions you guys have about selling on Amazon. It's a good kind of 45, 60-day period ahead of us for sure. We got Halloween sales going crazy right now. Obviously, people buying costumes and candy and all kinds of stuff. And then we'll have pretty much the holiday rush, come Black Friday season, that kind of thing. So really looking forward to crushing Amazon with a lot of you guys this Q4. But yeah, just popping on, answer some questions. I know a lot of you guys are trying to get serious about selling on Amazon, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, happy to help you guys out. Let me know who's in chat with us today. Let me know if you want to get us started with any questions, all that good stuff. Lots of sales will be going for Halloween, so that'll be basically every website will be a good opportunity to start buying and flipping some stuff. And then when we get closer to Black Friday, those are usually like the best prices of the year. So that'll be something you want to start maybe saving a little bit of money for come middle of November. Start stocking up some extra bonus margin, that kind of thing. Awesome. Appreciate you simply on TikTok. What's up, Basil? How you doing, man? What's up, Carol? Good to see you again. Let's see. Wesley said you have a company asking if you're buying in bulk, why you're buying in bulk specifically, if you're selling on Amazon, eBay. If they're asking like that, I would probably just ignore them, to be honest, unless they are like canceling a bunch of your orders, in which case you can come up with some reason why you'd want to buy a bunch of them. But yeah, generally if they're like really cracking down on you wanting to be a reseller or something like that, it's probably not super worth it. For sure, because it's fun, Mr. Gold. Yeah, a lot of websites will not want your money, and if they're gonna crack down on you giving them money, then it sounds like there's some secret secret method that I'm not talking about. But usually I'm just spending money on websites that want my money, right? There's plenty of them out there. But yeah, you could see what you could do there, Wesley. You might be able to turn it into some kind of a bulk relationship. It really just depends on the approach they had with you. Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Rob? Said crazy catch you live. Follow me on YouTube. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, good to have you on here. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions about starting your Amazon business, anything like that. What's up, David? He said, do you track serial numbers on high ticket items for fraud returns? Yeah, I don't really sell too much high ticket personally, just because, like you're saying, I don't want to mess with those returns where a customer is going to try to scam you for a lot of money. But yeah, if you do plan on selling like electronics and that kind of stuff, you'll see some sellers on Amazon literally even put like serial number recorded in their like store name and that kind of thing, so that in case like a seller or like a buyer is going to like switch the product in and out on you, yeah, that can definitely happen. If it does happen, then you'll, like you say, write down the serial number and then you'll file an A to Z claim against the customer. And that goes anytime. Like sometimes you'll get crazy returns. Like I had a return one time where they literally, it was like a book that we sold a long time ago, and they literally like lit the book on fire. Like the cover was like ash. Like the bottom right corner of the book had been lit on fire and they returned it. So we submitted a claim and got some money back for that. But yeah, you can, there's recourse if a customer tries to screw you over, basically. What's up? Yeah, you don't need that anymore, Dennis. Boxum does everything plus a lot more. So yeah, just Boxum, SellerAmp, and Keepa as far as like software goes. It's pretty much all you need. And then a repricer once you have like some products in your store, that kind of thing. Let's see. Do you still use SellerAmp? Yep, that's how you'll source every product, Katie. Basic, it's like the easy way to kind of get into Amazon. It's also like you got to figure out like your fees and stuff. So that's how you'll do that too. But yeah, and yeah, simply you're asking kind of goes hand in hand, right? Like if you're trying to find that profitable product, a good example to start with is anything that is made and sold by a retail store. So think, Target's Up and Up or Kirkland from Costco, Great Value from Walmart, that kind of thing. Because all the sellers on that listing have to be buying from retail stores. So then you open up all those sellers on SellerAmp, see all the brands they sell, and there's going to be some like good beginner friendly brands in that combination, basically. Yeah, and the main thing is, the simple route is find Amazon sellers who are already resellers on Amazon. Just go brand by brand on SellerAmp. Kind of, it'll show you what their favorite brands are, and I'll just go down that list until I find one of those brands that has like a good like coupon or sale or some kind of promotion where I can basically create a bunch of extra profit on that product. kind of find like a limited time opportunity. Um, Not sure what you mean, DMC. If you have a specific name, I'd love to know. But you're saying they're like AI software that's legit for courses, mentorship. A lot of times, like AI within courses will like be like a knowledge base of like that particular like creator, which can be helpful. Boxum has the first AI that's for Amazon sellers specifically, which is pretty cool. So you can go like into Boxum right now. You can ask Boxum like, where should I source today? And it'll give you some sourcing ideas. You can ask it what's auto ungated. It'll give you some auto ungated products. Yeah, so there are some cool AI tools out there for sure, but there's definitely a lot of stuff just like slapping the word AI and stuff just because it's like a buzzword. Let's see. How do you negotiate with distributors? You've reviewed some catalogs. Most of them weren't profitable. So for the most part, if you're doing wholesale, um, you're going to get that list of stuff they sell. Just say, all right, we want this product. How many of them do we need to buy to get it for, the price I need? And, let's say that they have a product on their price sheet for $20. You need it for 16 or 18 or something like that. Just ask them straight up, how many do I need to buy? And if we can get it for $18. And sometimes they'll be like, if you buy in bulk, you buy 2,000, we'll do it. Other times they'll be like, I can't do it at all. So that's usually like the best way to go about it. Let's see. Yeah, as far as sourcing goes, it's just SellerAmp and Keepa are the most effective. You can, ask Boxum AI like some like margin boosting questions, and it can help you like source different products across websites. But yeah, for sure. The problem with the problem with any software that claims to be like automated in any sort is it misses all the best products, because it misses the 2-packs, it misses bundle listings, it misses listings where there's no UPC, like things like that. Like automated software always misses it, so you're always better off just kind of manually digging through profitable products just with Keepa and SellerAmp, basically. Let's see, what free websites do you use to merge documents? Just like small PDF. Yeah, like when you're getting ungated, you'll just combine like the receipt and the tracking information and that kind of stuff into one document. See, a couple of you guys said, where do you start? You're a new seller. Awesome. Yeah. So the short answer in terms of like, where to get started, easy option, go to your local retail store, pull out the SellerAmp app and scan barcodes. You'll start to figure out like what products sell well on Amazon. You can start with like clearance aisles, that kind of thing. The more scalable way and still fairly easy way to start is to start looking for products online, starting with auto ungated sourcing. So, those are kind of your two options. If you want to see everything all in one place, just look up Fields of Profit free course and that's on YouTube. There's like a 4-hour long YouTube video to show you everything. There's also a free Discord community and about 3 hours of free videos up here in my bio if you want that. That's down below if you guys are on YouTube and want a good like starter guide, basically. Let's see. Can you refer to some wholesalers? Yeah. So as far as like wholesalers go, wholesaling is a very like relationship based business. So no one's going to just like hand out names of profitable suppliers, because those are hard fought. It takes a lot of phone calls and that kind of stuff. That's also not really what my business is. My business is 95% buying from big websites and selling it on Amazon rather than like going the wholesale route. Wholesale can be good too, but it's just not, I just don't enjoy it. And I've had fun scaling OA. So yeah. With all things, build a business that works and build a business that's fun to you. Those are the two things that matter. Because even if a business works, if you don't enjoy doing it, it's not going to work for you. Let's see, what's more profitable, finding products online or going to the store? So more profitable is going to be what takes more work almost always. So going out to stores is going to be more profitable, but more scalable and more profitable are usually different decisions. So sourcing things online is more scalable, but it's generally less profitable because more people can source the same things online, right? Versus your local retail store clearance aisle, there's only probably a small handful of Amazon sellers that are in your city, that kind of thing. So that's your competition locally. So it just depends on what you're prioritizing for. In my opinion, going physically out to retail stores is a little bit more fun. It's like a IRL scavenger hunt, and it's definitely more. It's a higher ROI, higher margin business, but it's a lower dollar per hour business. That's how I like to look at it. You concerned that Amazon might change seller policies in a way that hurts resellers? I mean, I don't really see them doing that, David, just because Amazon, about over 60% of sales on Amazon at this point are from third-party sellers, and a lot of that is a combination of a ton of small sellers. So at this point, small sellers are just too much of their bottom line for them to do things that like blatantly screw over resellers unless they get sued and forced to do it. That would be the only thing that would force them to change anything. Let's see. You spent a bunch of hours sourcing one product. Okay, yeah. So if you spent that long sourcing, you're not sourcing the correct way. So if you like right now spend 10, 15 minutes looking through like your email, check home pages of big popular websites. Just figure out what's cheap. What coupons are going on today. Maybe Macy's has a sale. Maybe JCPenney has no sales going on. Figure out where things are cheap, and then based on what products are cheap, start reverse sourcing those brands that are cheap today. Yeah, I mean, even as a beginner, you probably find a product every hour, maybe two every hour as like a true beginner. And then as you go, like at this point, typically I'll find a product every 3 to 5 minutes, depending on like how good the sale is. Sometimes worse, and I'm like exploring new ideas for sure. But you got to remember, like finding the first product is the hardest part, and basically every product you find makes the next one quicker and easier to find. That's why a lot of people never get over that initial hump, because it's totally normal for it to take 3, 5, maybe even 10 hours to find your first product. I know it took me a while. Was a lot less like to learn from when I was getting started, but it definitely took me several hours to find my first thing that I liked. Let's see. Best way to get ungated in beauty: buying any profitable beauty lead from a legit store, and then submitting that. For sure. You can forecast inventory, Dennis. Yeah, just go to the ASIN profitability page. Just look at what's selling and restock based on that. Sweet. Yeah, I'm also on Instagram. Yeah, same username everywhere. I know a lot of you guys on TikTok have been hopping in. So if you guys on TikTok like want some good resources to get started on Amazon for free, just look at Fields of Profit on YouTube. And there's also a bunch of there's a free course and stuff up in my bio up here. Let's see. Tips on cutting down lost inbound FBA inventory. Sometimes if you use 2D barcodes, I've seen it help a little bit, but at the end of the day, Amazon inevitably is going to lose some products of yours. That's where you'll go in on that shipment where they lose any inventory. At the bottom, you can request to get reimbursed for all the stuff they lost. For sure. Do you have any links? I assume you're talking about like resources and stuff. Yeah, if you're looking for like links to free resources, they're up in my bio there. Let's see. Is Amazon selling the best way to make money online? Your nephew said it's a long game. I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the best cash flow businesses online right now. I wouldn't really call reselling a long game, because most resellers are profitable in a month or two, just because there's very little like initial overhead beyond the inventory that you actually want to sell. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely go for it. No, Steve, you can't even make shipments on that tool. So you'll use Boxem when it comes to making FBA shipments, and you can track all the other analytics and stuff like that if you're already using that, Steve. Yeah, that's just Boxem, and that's how you make shipments. There's also an AI analytics, all that kind of stuff. What do you sell? Anything that's profitable. Short answer. Also, this time of year, it's going to be like a lot of products that people will give or receive as gifts is like the kind of the brief explanation. So for me, that's going to be shoes, toys, clothes, makeup, chocolates, all kinds of stuff like that. For sure. Let's see, what up, Adrian? How you doing, man? Good to see you. You're 15 minutes late today. We'll allow it. What's up? You said new seller from the UK. Not exactly sure what big retailers are around. You essentially recommend you search through their sales. Yeah. So in the UK, like I've never really sourced UK products specifically, but whatever like your like Tesco and stuff like that, go to their retail store private labels, which I assume that they have for all the grocery stores over here do. So any brands that like your local stores create and sell, start sourcing off of those, because like everyone else selling that brand's a good place to start. You get ungated and human ingestible. As long as your account's open for applications, anywhere you buy it profitably. Yeah, as far as like getting ungated goes, I see some ungating questions going. Getting ungated, just buy 10 or more units. Even if it says a ton, I still only buy 10 units from any legit retailer. So usually if I am trying to get ungated in a brand, if the brand has a website, I'll buy from that website directly. Otherwise, just use like Target or Walgreens or Kohl's or one of those. Take that invoice and then also combine the tracking information and then upload that to Amazon, and that's it. You might get some denials in the process there, but they're just kind of strict this time of year, making sure everybody is like a legit seller right before the holidays. They don't want people getting like, fake Christmas presents and that kind of stuff. So he just keeps them at that. Yeah, that's all I've ever done. I've only ever submitted 10. I see like crazy numbers up there, but yeah, the rule was 10 for a really long time, and it still works. Probably have to submit a couple extra times on average, but I don't want to buy 10 or 30 times as much inventory. Then I'll buy 10 or 30 times as much inventory once I'm approved to sell it, of course. But let's see. But what are the barriers to entry and cost to get started? Yeah, so cost to get started, $200 to $300 for supplies, depending on what you already have at home. You'll need about $100 a month for software. So it's going to be SellerAmp, Keepa, and Boxum for the software that you need. And then like another $1,000 for inventory at least. Yeah, I had about $1,500 when I started selling on Amazon. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. You see some profits in my future. I'll take it. I'll take it. You got a good little what's that? Emoticon face or whatever you call that. I like it. Sweet. Yeah, let me know what other questions you guys got here. Let's see. Please help. Your new seller and sourcing has been so hard. Yeah, so the main mental shift, if sourcing products is hard, you're not finding profitable products, you need to create profitable products. So, at a basic level, that means you're looking for extra ways to boost profit margins rather than looking for things that are, $20 on Amazon and you buy them for 10, right? The better products are going to be things that you see on, Walgreens for $15, sells for $20 on Amazon. Oh, but there's a 20% coupon. Oh, and I can also buy a discounted gift card, and maybe, the website gives me 5% cash back or something like that, right? So now you have a product that doesn't look profitable at first glance, so people aren't able to like copy it as easily, but it's still very profitable after you create the profit margin. That's like the bare basics. Keep it the name of the software you need. You want to start selling. Yeah, so SellerAmp, Keepa, and Boxum. Those are SellerAmp and Keepa are for sourcing, and then Boxum is like an AI assistant for restocking, analytics, shipping products, listing products, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. How many times do you send an invoice when you get denied? Until it's approved. Sometimes it'll take one application. Sometimes I'll have to submit like 50 plus times. But yeah, there's no downside to continuing to submit. What up, Sadiq? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Let's see. When you select a product, do you make sure it's long-term profitable? Sometimes it's only profitable if it's on sale. Yeah, so you want to make sure things are like consistently profitable on Amazon. So usually when I'm buying things, I want to make sure that it is consistent at a long, like, you'll check like the 90-day average price. Maybe it's, $100, and right now it's $200. I'm going to avoid that. But things that are always the same price when you're sourcing them aren't usually the best products. You want the things that are only cheap during like certain windows of time. Yeah, Mix, there's a free course up here if you want. Like, I'm not sure what your deal is, man, but yeah, bunch of free resources in terms of getting started on Amazon. Let's see. With sourcing as a newbie, how long should sourcing take? Yeah, I mean, like for me, like finding my first product definitely took like a few hours, I'd say, if not more. Probably a couple like random. It was like 6 years ago, so it's hard to remember how long it really took, but maybe an afternoon or two to find that first profitable product when you're like just getting started. I was also using methods that like don't work anymore and definitely didn't work very well when I did it. That's why I kind of talk about the things that I actually do now. And yeah, for sure. Let's see, already found a lead using the advice. That's what's up, man. Yeah. So you said you spent like 20 hours or so trying to find something. You used that, and 5 minutes later you got something. You love to see that. That's awesome. Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. That makes sense now that you just kind of have that one little thing to shift as far as like sourcing attitude goes. Would you say if the product design is the same or the box design is slightly different? Yeah, that's fine. A lot of times you'll buy products where like they update the packaging and that kind of thing. If you can, try to check like nutrition or the fabric blend, all those different ways to make sure the product's still the same. But if the packaging is a little bit different, customers don't usually care, just as long as they're getting what they pay for. Now with the caveat of if it's like a collectible item, probably want to make sure it's the same thing. But if it's like a bag of oatmeal, that kind of thing, like no one cares, for sure. What's up, Amir? Yeah, I'm live on TikTok and YouTube. So if you see like questions that you don't see in chat, that's why. Let's see. Do you use a prep center? I do personally for sure. Yeah. Ship everything off. The nice part about a prep center is you should just get one on a state with no sales tax. So like for me, I ship everything to Montana, and automatically when I buy it at checkout, there's $0 in sales tax. So it like saves money, and then I'll just pay them like $1 to $1.50 a unit, depending on what kind of prep is needed, and they'll load it into box them and ship it off for me. You just started your account, Martin? Awesome. Yeah, get after it. Now's a good time to get started. We got the holiday rush coming up here, so yeah, try to. The main thing, like for any of you guys who are like getting started, set yourself a goal to spend money on product as soon as possible. You can sit and learn a ton of stuff and feel like you're making a bunch of progress, but if you have nothing on the way to Amazon, even if it's $50 worth of stuff, just get it done, right? The worst case scenario, you lose $50. The best case scenario, you learn how to start a new business that makes you a nice side income, maybe even eventually like replaces the full-time job. But yeah, you just got to take action, especially this time of year with we really have like a month to really prep for December, and then during December it's going to be like restocking your best products and hopping on like short-term opportunities, that kind of thing. So pretty much every day you can spend sourcing right now is going to make a lot more money than any time else the rest of the year. Let's see. You heard grocery stuff is good because it's non-refundable. That is true, Martin. Yeah. I would say grocery is one of the more difficult categories to source, especially online. Some categories tend to be very dominated by like private label and like big distributors, that kind of thing. Grocery, I'd say, is one of those. Some categories are very reseller focused. A lot of like sports and outdoors, a lot of like clothing, that kind of thing. A lot of beauty is very reseller friendly, that kind of thing. FBM is not seller friendly. FBM is more seller friendly than FBA for sure, because you can control all the like refund policies and all that kind of stuff with a lot more detail. So yeah, I would say FBM is a lot more seller friendly. FBA is just more scalable. That's why most people do FBA. How do you know the expiration date on food products when you're buying online? Yeah, I mean, when you're buying stuff online, like those websites also have to follow like expiration date rules and stuff. Plus, if you buy food and the expiration date is there or very close, you can always just return it for sure. Do you take the price tags off of the item? Let's say Carter's, if they list the price on it. Yeah, for sure. You don't want to buy something for $10. It's on the price tag for $10. You sell it for 30, right? You're probably gonna get some negative feedback and that kind of stuff from the customer on that. So yeah, I'll usually just like rip the price tag off, or you can just cover over it. All the stuff you're shipping off to Amazon, you have to put a little SKU label on it anyway. See if I got an example. Yeah, so it's not an example. It's like kind of, you'll take a little label like that and cover the barcode if you want to cover like the old price tag. What's Amazon rules on expiration dates? It's usually 90 days plus the expected shelf life of the product. So for a lot of grocery leads, it's going to be right around 90 days minimum. For like, let's say it's a 365-day supplement, that's going to be 365 days plus 90 days. So it'll need to be like a year plus out for the expiration date, for sure. Yeah, Momo. So I said it says I sell 2.5 million. So profit on that, I usually shoot for about 10% net after I pay my team and software and shipping expenses and all that kind of stuff. Anywhere from 15 to 20% gross margin is where you want to be. And then depending on how much you outsource, your margins are going to go down from there. So for me, I outsource the vast majority of the business to virtual employees and that kind of stuff that I've trained. For some people, they want to do a lot of the work themselves. For sure. I cannot, Taha, but good luck with that. That's very cool. That'd be a good career. Let's see. Tips on liquidating crashed listings. I mean, usually like it's gonna be like I'd be curious what type of item you're having trouble with, because usually you're not really gonna have problems selling a product if like you need to. The problem would be selling everything at a profit. You're obviously not going to sell everything for a profit. So yeah, as long as you're just buying things that you look at the data and you just know it sells, like SellerAmp will show you how fast things sell. So as long as you're buying things that at least sell, that way, let's say the price goes down, oh well, lose a little bit of money, move on. There's better items out there. But yeah, it's usually pretty rare for you to just get like stuck with a product straight up. Is it too late to send FBA shipments? Definitely not. Yeah. I would say like if you have things that you need to be selling during the holiday rush, you have like a week. If you have things that you're like you hope you want to be in stock during the holiday rush, you have like 2, maybe 3 weeks on the more generous end. But if it's like Christmas lights, get them in ASAP. If it's, I don't know, a pair of shoes or toys or something, you probably got 2 weeks. For sure. You can scroll through the page if you really feel the need. Essay there. Yeah, been doing it for like 6 years now. Do you ever source from Costco? I bought a few products from Costco. Nothing, not a ton personally. Just because most products that you buy, like we're talking about, you need to create extra like profit margin on those. And Costco is really hard to create extra profit margin because it's just wholesale pricing, and it's wholesale pricing that everyone can get access to as well. The better products are going to be the things where maybe it's on sale for 2 days, and I can also use an extra coupon that only was there for a week, right? So you're like stacking different ways to create margin, and that go away. And then when those same conditions come back, you're restocking your best products, and you're basically buying enough stock to have stuff until next time those specific conditions that make the item cheaper back. Let's see. Where do you find the SKU number when you list a product? So you make the SKU, Tam. Yeah. So like when you list a product on Boxem, it'll automatically make a SKU for you. And that's just it's just whatever you want to name it. So like on Boxem, it'll usually default to like your supplier, what you paid for it, the day you listed it, that kind of thing. Like just put some information in the SKU to like while you're managing your inventory to kind of see what's going on there. Yeah, the one using like a funds recovery is a good idea for sure. Seller investigators is decent. I know a lot of people like True Ops. There's Getita, that kind of thing. Yeah. What types of products do you sell this time of year? Anything that is that's giftable, but generally I'll sell anything that's profitable. This time of year, mostly focused on beauty products, shoes, clothes, toys, chocolates, that kind of stuff. Stuff that people want to get for Thanksgiving gifts and Christmas gifts and all kinds of stuff like that. Sweet. What's up, Wicked? How you doing? How much cash do you need to start? At least $1,000. 2 or 3 is a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, for sure. Doing FBA or FBM, mostly FBA. But whenever you have like a short-term opportunity to jump on, it's a good idea to FBM it. So for example, if you're, wanting to sell Halloween items right now, not a lot of time left to FBA, but you could definitely go buy something at Walmart right now. And there's a lot of Halloween items that are like massively inflated in price because everyone sold out right before Halloween. So you go out to Walmart and you can sell that FBM. For the most part, I'm stocking stuff to FBA so that I can see as little product as possible. For sure. Where do you buy your items from? Just big websites, Barbie. So yeah, Walmart, Target, Vitacost, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. For sure. You see people saying you need no money, just create an online store and bam. I mean, like think about it for a second, right? Like it's a business where you buy products and sell products. So if people are telling you you need no money, then how are you buying products? You don't need that much money, but you do need money, and there's risk involved, of course. Like you're spending money and hoping that you make more. Obviously, we have all the software to, kind of, show us how fast things sell and get us as close as possible to a guarantee that we'll actually make money. But at the end of the day, you're still taking a risk, of course, for sure. Why you're not able to find a product for OA? We kind of talked about it in more detail a little bit ago, but the basic concept is you want to make your profit. You're not trying to find profitable items. So that's coupons, discounted gift cards, cash back, all that kind of stuff. Been watching since 2021. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, you've been around. So you probably saw the old videos of like my mattress behind me, like my college bedroom, that kind of thing. Yeah, still in college. Appreciate you, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go ahead and wrap up here. I think I'm gonna go play a quick little afternoon golf with some friends here. So awesome. You guys have a good rest of your afternoon here. If you guys want to just kind of get a starting point on TikTok, there's a bunch of free courses up here. You can learn how to source for free, get ungated, all the like essentials. Like I said, it's all free. And then over on YouTube, it's all those resources are down below. So yeah, appreciate you guys. No, we could just got a Tesla instead. But yeah, awesome. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a good rest of your afternoon here.